He's going to be behind bars for 35 years for this horrific murder of his ex-wife, Trisha Todd. And some say, including the judge, that it's not nearly enough for what he did. But Stephen Williams was found competent, so he will be behind bars for all of that time. He is a man that detectives call a monster. Stephen Williams said in his sentencing hearing with no emotion on his face at all. He'd already confessed to killing his missing ex-wife, Trisha Todd, in April, and in exchange for a 35-year plea deal, led detectives to her body, which they were horrified to discover was dismembered, buried in a barrel of acid in a remote preserve. Williams hadn't told them that part.
My opinion of Stephen Williams is that he was a cold-blooded murderer, that the crime was despicable, that what he did was unimaginable.
However horrific, Todd's father, David, spoke in court and did not tell the judge anything about his only daughter and his loss, instead addressing Williams directly.
Stephen, I thank God that I can talk to you one time here.
Todd saying he has totally forgiven his former son-in-law, and instead of praying for his daughter, who he says no longer needs prayers, is praying each night for the man who killed her.
He's the fourth person. When I come to Trisha's name, because I just kind of roll them down automatically, Wesley, Kendall, Trisha, and then Trisha's husband, Stephen.
The judge said while Williams deserves a much harsher sentence, he praised prosecutors for taking bold action, making the plea deal and solving a murder that might never have been solved. Sheriff Snyder agrees everyone did the best they could, but says Williams' cold-blooded actions can never be rectified.
He left behind a daughter who will never know her mother. He left behind a daughter who will now not know her father. And he left an entire family who've lost a sister. There's no putting the pieces back together in this case. There's no way to put it all back right. And the system has worked, and we have collectively done the best we could.
All right, I want to kind of talk to you about what's going on with this, okay? And I've been involved with this case from the beginning, okay? And I've seen everything that we have. I've seen all the interviews. And at this point, I know we've come in and we talked to you over and over and over again. We've talked to you in Raleigh. We've talked to you here. And we've always talked about the past. What happened that night? What happened that night? What happened that night?
The detective does drone on for a little while, repeating himself. However, what is so brilliant about this investigation is the way in which he meticulously gets the suspect to crack.
What I want to do is I want to kind of talk to you about the future, where we're going from here, okay? Now, you've already heard about all the stuff that we got. I mean, there's no question about what happened that night. We know that it's more than you're telling us. We know that you were involved with her death. We know that, okay? So the question is not what happened or anything like that. What we need to understand is going forward, okay, there's going to be a trial, okay? There's going to be press. There's going to be everybody looking at this. You've seen how these things, they get huge. The media gets involved, and everybody's going to have an opinion about what happened. And everybody's going to have an opinion about you and your relationship and what kind of person you are, okay? And the thing that we're trying to do here is, I mean, I talked to you earlier. You're a nice guy. I like you. I mean, I think we could be friends, you know, in different circumstances. But here's the thing. You know, there's going to be two narratives going forward, okay? And what I want to do is try to give you the opportunity to kind of tell me more about what narrative actually happened, okay? So what we're looking at is, you know, there's the one option, okay? And that's the option that you were kind of getting earlier when Tom was in here, which is, you know, you planned this? You came down here with the intent purpose to hurt Trisha? That you planned to ditch her car here in some calculated way, and you planned to go put her in a certain place that nobody could find her and all that kind of stuff? And that sounds pretty bad, right? I mean, you wouldn't agree with that, okay? Now, the other alternative is that, and like I said, we know what happened. We know that, you know, that something beyond what you were telling us happened in the house. But I think the more likely story is having seen, I mean, trust me, I've been here. You haven't seen me before involved in this, but I've seen you, okay? I've done a lot of research on your background. And I know what it was like with Trisha. I know what kind of stuff you went through. I know she had a wild streak when she was younger. I know what she did. And she came after you. in that domestic thing that happened before, I know how that started. Okay, we've seen the reports. We know how it all happened. We know she went back and said, no, the whole thing was made up because she started. Okay, what I think is more, to me, having known you, having known the background of everything between you and her, everybody's going to have their own opinion. But I can see that. I think probably what happened was something more like she started something that night. Okay, and having known what her background was, having known how she treats you, okay, I've seen text messages. I've seen what she says to you, okay? I know what kind of stuff she's always bitching at you about stuff. I get that. I see that, okay? So I could see how that would kind of go that direction that night, all right? So what I want to do is try to set the stage so that you can actually tell the narrative about what actually happened, which is not that you planned all this, okay? Not that you planned down here to come down here and kill her and send her out in the woods like some sort of mass murderer. I mean, really? I mean, like you're gonna go chop her up into little bits or something like that? I mean,
Her body was found dismembered.
that seems kind of ridiculous, okay? It seems far-fetched, like you said, okay? And I don't think you planned all this. I don't think you're capable of that, okay? I think what happens is sometimes things just get out of hand. Okay, you agree with that? Sometimes, people start doing something and they cause something to happen. Okay, and I'm not saying you wanted this to happen. All right, but I know you were there when it happened. Okay, what we want to understand is what actually happened that night. Okay, and I know you were there, and I don't believe it was your fault. Okay, so what I imagine something to be, is maybe you guys got in an argument. Maybe it was over the computer. Maybe it was over the gas. Maybe it was over whatever. Okay, any little nitpicky thing that she's going to get on you about, which she always did. I get that. Okay, and things got heated. Okay, you're down here to try to see your daughter. Okay, you're a good dad. You're trying to be down here to spend time with somebody that you care about, your daughter. And Trisha's here again, and unfortunately, Faith wants to see Trisha. And Faith is calling for Trisha. I'm sure that doesn't make you feel that good. She's trying to spend time with your daughter, okay? Okay. But it's, and Trisha came over, but then things started getting kind of ugly, okay? And I'm sure she started it. And you didn't want to get involved in that, okay? But if she starts pushing things, she's not going to back up. She's unrelenting, okay? I've seen this, okay? I've seen the history. I've seen the background of how this works, okay? So what I could see happening is maybe she came at you and, I mean, just defending yourself, she falls. Maybe you didn't realize how hard you pushed her out of the way, but you're just trying to defend yourself. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you tried to hurt her, but I'm saying that it's clear that something happened there and that resulted in Trisha getting injured to the point where she was deceased. Okay, and then beyond that, I can see, putting myself in your shoes for a minute. Okay, I see that you're a hard worker. Okay, you've rose through the ranks. You're in the Air Force. You've been there what, 11, 12 years? You said. I mean, that's a long time. That's a career. You devoted your life to that career, to this country. Okay, you got your daughter to think about. Okay, something happened. It's Trisha's own fault. Now she's gone. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But what are you going to do about Faith? And like you said, people aren't going to believe that you weren't, planning to do this. People aren't going to believe that you weren't intending to hurt her in some way. But sometimes shit just happens. And now here it is. So now you've got to make a choice. Okay, do you call the cops and roll the dice that we're going to believe your story? Or you try to do you go into a little bit of panic mode. And trust me, if I was in the same, I don't know what I would have done, okay? I couldn't even imagine being in that position. But I can understand going into that panic mode of, holy shit, what do I need to do now? And so your first plan, I mean, you told us that your plan was that you were just going to take her back to the house and you were going to leave her there, which I understand because she's going to be back by her house and people are going to find her and then maybe they'll look other places, you know what I mean? And I understand that, okay? And that's what you told us. That was kind of your first thought. But that's probably when you saw that Joshua was still home. So, and now you're not going to run the risk of him coming out when this is all going on, because I mean that's not going to look well for you at all, right? I mean, if Joshua comes out and sees all this, he's not going to understand. He's obviously going to think that you planned this and did this intentionally. So now we're going to go back to the house, okay? And of course, Trisha, being the way she is, there's no gas in the car. Typical Trisha. And I give it. I mean, come on. I mean, how hard is it to go fill up a gas tank? I mean, really? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Well, obviously, you can't go to the gas station in her car because she's in the car. I mean, that's not going to look good, right? So you head back to the house, and the only thing you can think of is hopefully somebody has some gas there, right? And we confirmed that. We talked to everybody. And yeah, you did it. You tried to get some gas at the house. And then you decide that you're just going to have to go get gas, but now you're going to take your own car, obviously, because you don't want to be in her car. So, I mean, that's all confirmed, and that makes perfect sense, okay? So, and then now you're going to have to go to plan B, which is, unfortunately, you're going to have to take her somewhere else because you can't risk somebody seeing you with her in the car, right? Because that's going to be too hard to explain. And it is, and now we're in this position. It's very difficult to explain, and I get that. But if you don't tell us the truth about what happened, it just continues to make it look like you're lying to us to cover up something more sinister, for lack of a better word. Like you intended this to happen, and now you're covering it up. And I don't want that to be the story.
Not the story.
And I know. And that's why I want you to have this opportunity to tell me the truth about how she became injured, how Trisha lost her life. The narrative was that the actions of someone who was panicking, and a jury could completely understand this?
I did. I didn't know what to do. I don't plan these
So explain
things.
to me.
I don't know what you do in these situations.
And I know you didn't plan this. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to give you the opportunity to explain to us how it happened, because it was not planned. You did not attack her. You did not try to kill her or try to come down here to kill her.
Never.
But things happen. And we need to understand what it was that happened in that house before the whole gas thing. I know it happened before the gas thing. I know it happened before you went to this computer thing. I know that's not the truth. I can prove that this is not the truth. I need to know the truth to be able to tell people that you're not a serial killer, that you're some psychopath who has no remorse over killing the mother of your child. But you know that's what's going to be in the paper. You know that's what's going to
change that.
You can change that. You can change that right now. Yes, you can. Yes,
I can't tell you anything other than what I've told you.
No, you can tell me the truth.
And that's the problem. And nothing makes it better. Nothing I say makes this better.
It will.
And it doesn't matter.
Because there's a huge difference between we got an argument, it got physical, she started it, she got hurt. That's
not any better. That's no better.
No, tell me.
The same scenario.
That is miles better than I came down here with a backpack full of tools, ready to kill her and drag her out and her lifeless body into the woods.
It was just clothes. It was just the clothes that didn't fit.
You heard the narrative that you told. You told us. I had a bag. I had clothes.
Yeah.
I had water.
Yeah,
I had
not
snacks.
already in there.
What?
No.
I'm saying, you got the bag, and then after all this is done, all this messy business is finished. Now you get rid of that. That looks awful. That looks like a murder bag. That looks like, oh my gosh, she came down here with this bag, and I don't think it was. I think it was just a bag that you had with some stuff in it.
Yes.
To tell us what actually happened in the house.
Because I sit here and tell you that she attacked me, that's just another different story that you're just going to be like, well, that's 5 different stories he's telling now. And that doesn't help either. So what do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you, Dave?
I want you to tell me the truth.
I'm telling you, I didn't hurt this woman.
Okay.
I never did anything to injure her or hurt her. My only mistake is I didn't just accept that this is the situation and call 911. That's what I should have done.
Did she attack you?
I didn't take her to the hospital. I should have just did that. Instead, I just panicked and I just tried to and try to get away from it all is what I wanted. I just wanted nothing to do with all that.
But you
Because that's
panicked.
not me. I just panicked.
You panicked because of what happened because you thought it would come back on you.
Because it did. It does. Like, in the past even. I didn't do anything to her, but just because of how it
But
looked.
here's the thing. People fall down all the time. People get hurt, okay? It's not uncommon, okay? And we can find that out. That's not something that's difficult to determine. She wants her mommy. You know what? You don't really like Trisha. You don't want to see her in the middle of the night. You don't want her to come back over.
No,
But you know what? You will make that sacrifice for your daughter.
Of course I would.
And then when she shows up, she's probably got an attitude. What's her deal?
I'll never know what her deal is. She always has her own agendas. I just try to ignore them. I just pretend that whatever she says is just take it as a grain of salt and move on.
And I know she's
I
got.
don't feed into it. I don't ask questions. I don't answer things. I just smile and nod kind of thing.
But sometimes she won't take that,
Well, no, that's just her
and
personality.
she's going to keep pushing because she's got to end the conversation.
And I
She's
usually
got to
just
get to
let
some
her.
resolution,
And I let her.
and she's going to keep prodding and poking about whatever the stupid thing is that she's upset about. Okay, and I get that. Okay, we all understand that. We've all been there. Okay, so and I understand how the kind of the atmosphere of that night, and I can't blame you. Okay, for panicking after all of this.
It's just a panic.
Okay,
Panic.
but you got.
I know what
But
the right thing to do.
Stephen,
So
but I want to tell you right now. Okay, you need some guidance sometimes. You weren't sure what to do. I can tell you right now. The right thing to do is to tell us what actually happened.
Finally, he breaks down.
I don't know. It just happened.
Talk to me about from midnight. You texted her. Faith was upset.
I would have never texted her otherwise. It was
Right.
already late and she'd already left. I would have never texted her.
And you're a good dad, so you wanted to give Faith what she wanted.
That's it. That's all I was trying to do was just be a good dad. Just, okay, you want your mom? Fine. Like, so yeah, she came over and she was with Faith, and then she just started talking about nonsense and bringing up child support and just more stupid stuff that I just, for the most part, tried to ignore. And then, yeah, there was a mix-up with the check, but that's not my fault because you told me this was your address. So yeah, that's where I mailed it to. And then she's telling me that's not the mailing address. It's just what I'm like, that's not my fault. If you told me you moved, I did the responsible thing and I made sure the check was going to go wherever you moved to if you're not at your mom's house. And then she's just going on and on about now I owe her more money and back child support and I'm just sitting here like, then I'll fix it. I'll send you another. I'll do something, but I don't have the money now. So just give me some time, like, because that money, since you didn't get it on time, is already spent. I spent it to come here, and now I need a little more time to get it to you. And now she's talking about how she's going to go to court and all this other stuff, and it's my fault. And I'm just like, this isn't even my fault. Like, you told me you moved. It just all went bad. It just so fast. She just went from 0 to 100, and I'm trying to understand, like, what just happened. Like, you were just here earlier. Everything was fine. You left. I only called you because Faith wanted you, and now we're arguing about something that I'm sitting here thinking this is unbelievably trivial, and this can be fixed. I can fix this by the 1st. Just give me time. And she eventually falls asleep anyway, but she's still like arguing with me over in the foyer area. And I'm just like, please just leave then. Just go. No, I'm not leaving until we fix this. Like, on and on and on to the point where now I'm just trying to like walk away. Now I can't walk away because you're circling me and like you're jumping in front of my face and it just got so aggressive and I'm just trying to back away and de-escalate and I can't even leave the house now. You know, I don't want to push you. I don't want to touch you. I don't want anything with you because I'm just thinking about flashbacks of before when you just blew all this shit up for no reason and then now I'm getting arrested. It just escalated and then I just moved her away and then she slipped. And that's when she freaking fell and I'm like, oh shit. I asked her if she was okay. It was like a weird sound. She didn't say anything though. And then I freaking panicked. And then I just freaking panicked because I didn't try to hurt you. I just wanted you to stop being here in my face yelling at me as I'm trying to back away. I'm trying to de-escalate. I don't want whatever this is. It's not that serious. I don't know why it's so serious about this money.
He drones about money before getting back on track.
And so I went to move her away, and she slipped, and she hit her head. And I didn't mean for that. That wasn't my freaking fault. And then all I'm thinking is, great, now I've pushed her and she's hurt her head and I'm done. I'm just, everything I've tried to do, everything I've tried to be is done because I made a mistake. I didn't even really even lose my cool. I just tried to move you away. I just didn't. I didn't want you to hurt yourself.
Sorry.
I just tried to de-escalate the situation because I couldn't get out. I didn't know where to go. I couldn't even just leave. Like, all I wanted to do was just leave. I just wanted nothing to do with that.
So what did you do next?
I just tried to wake her. I tried to like snap her out of it, and it just kept getting worse. She just wasn't responding. She made weird breathing sounds, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm going to jail. Like I'm going to jail for killing this woman that I never wanted to hurt. Never.
And I don't think you did.
I never wanted her to be hurt. I never wished ill on her. I tried to always do right by her, no matter what the situation. I just tried to do the right thing. And all I'm saying is I'm going to jail for trying not to hurt you.
And that's exactly why I wanted you to tell me the
I
truth
just
about that.
wanted it to stop. I just wanted it to go away. I just wanted to just go back.
Okay. And that, I believe you. I believe everything that you just told me. Okay, Stephen?
Doesn't even matter.
It does. It makes a huge difference because that's what we need to do. We need to get to the truth about what happened.
There's no way they're not gonna find her. I don't even know where I left her.
Did you?
I didn't even try to cover her up. I just laid her down.
She was found dismembered in a vat of acid. He would enter a plea deal where he would disclose the location of Trisha's body in exchange for a 35-year sentence. Like the news clip at the beginning shows, even the judge said this was not enough for this murderer. Thanks for watching.
So I was hoping beyond belief that she would be okay.
You knew she was peaceful. You knew she was at peace at that time. I know you were hoping. I know you were hoping, but you knew that was not the case. And it's horrible and it's unfortunate. But like you said,